Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Wisdom Within. So, this is part 3 of my episode with Gloria, and I thought to break things up because I know some people prefer shorter episodes, so I'd love to hear what you guys prefer, because I'm always looking to serve you all. And obviously, you can just pause and get back to it, but I thought it was nice to try breaking it up into smaller parts. Anyways, the previous parts, if you haven't heard them, were about breathwork, the power of ritual. The first one was about a temescal, so go check those out. This episode goes into Gloria's story from being a lawyer to her awakening journey, and there's so much here. We talk about using a pendulum, the power of gratitude, her journey to a witch school in Guatemala. So there's a lot here. And I really want to say that it's so easy when someone's done it to listen and be like, wow. But when you're in it, when you're in that place of like, what am I doing with my life? And just go on that journey of trusting, like actually doing it is so different. And so use this story as inspiration for you to know that if you're in any circumstances that aren't in alignment with you, anything is possible for you. And that's one of my intentions for the podcast, is to show that we are all one. And so there's so much medicine and learning and wisdom in sharing our stories. So enjoy this one with my beautiful roommate in Ubud, Gloria. Let's get right into it.
I next want to ask you about your life. And so you were a lawyer once upon a time.
I grew up in the city, and actually, I grew up being Catholic, which is not spiritual for what I understand now as spiritual, right? On the contrary, it was a lot of repression and all these stories about religions that I grew up with. So I was actually not spiritual at all.
So you had like the Day of the Dead.
We had the Day of the Dead and certain rituals, yes, but like coming from the Mexican cultures, not from religion, right?
Yeah.
But from the Mexican cultures. But I also grew up with a lot of influence on the religious aspect. So also at the time where I was growing up, the idea of the indigenous people in Mexico and like the traditions, etc., was like not really appreciaed. It was more like we wanted the American dream and the burgers and EU Mexico. At least this is the way that I grew up, like in that culture of we want to become modern. So indigenous is like actually not really valued.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, and quite fucked up also. So anyways, I grew up like living in the city and being in this idea of like the corporate world and I need to have a career, etc. So I chose to be a lawyer. And that was also like more because my dad was like, oh, you always complain a lot, so you would be a very good lawyer, right? Like you're always defending shit, and so you would be a very good lawyer. And suddenly it was like, oh, okay, I'll just be a lawyer. But actually, when I was 17, I didn't want to be finish school and just be a lawyer. So I was like, I need time to travel. And my dad said, you travel when you finish studying. So I chose law and I became a lawyer. And then by the time I finished school, I was already working. So I had the 9 to 6 job and spending 1 hour and a half in traffic.
What type of law did you do?
Patents and trademarks.
Okay.
So also quite boring. But I loved my work, but because of the people there, not because of what I was actually doing. So that was quite boring. But it was so amazing because I had so many friends in my school. They were in my school, in my law firm. So anyways, I was doing that life and I had my partner and like we talked at some point of like, okay, maybe having a kid, we were living together, etc. So I was already in that path. But I got sick and it was a bacteria, but actually it was more of now realizing a big depression. But I just didn't know at the time. So physically I was feeling completely exhausted and sick in my belly and I had zero energy and uh, and I spent a few months really sick, and the doctors telling me like, but there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you, you're hypochondriac, etc. I did all the exams. So finally I said, okay, I need to do my own research, and went to the alternative remedies. And so I found yoga first of all, and then I found this school in New York called the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So I started uh, doing this course on health coaching, and I was basically doing everything that I was studying. So I started eating healthier. I started understanding more what actually food does in my body, and I stopped eating sugar, quit dairy and gluten. So that was also super helpful. And practicing yoga, and and then having my dog that I would walk in nature. So all of these components actually made my brain think differently at some point. And there was a moment where I could hear another voice in my head just saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, no, no, this is not what you're here for. No, mi amor, you didn't sign up to be this person. You didn't sign up to just like stay and being bored and working for somebody else, and not feeling fulfilled and not being in nature, and like what the fuck? No, there must be another way, right?" So this voice, the more I was practicing and the healthier I was eating, the more I was able to listen to this voice.
And that's so powerful, because sometimes our channels are so blocked because we're so intoxicated, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's the people we're around, whether it's something in your stomach that's living in your stomach,
Yeah.
and then it's hard to listen because you're so clogged up. So the first step is probably to address your health in order to be open spiritually, or to know what to do next and have clarity.
Yes, eso, to have clarity, to stay in our truth, to live in our truth. Because also, I'm not talking about the 9 to 6 job, because for somebody that can be super fulfilling. It's more about what it's actually nourishing my heart.
And just having that insight to even pay attention, because we're so cut off from our bodies and what we're feeling, because we're running on this like autopilot mode. And that's why sometimes illness and things are so powerful, because that's actually the catalyst that gets you to go within.
Mm,
Is that what you found?
yes, to listen to that voice.
Yeah.
What voice is it? The wise part of me, the part that is constantly pushing me to like, no, mi amor, venga, 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 right? And we all have that voice.
Yeah.
And we're all here to grow and evolve and expand. So it's that voice that it's pushing me. Of course, there's the other voice of the fear, right? So now that I am not only more clear, but sometimes I'm not clear at all. But now that I've experienced these different parts of me, I can actually tune into what's wisdom and what's actually fear. And which voice is the one that I want to pay attention to, and the one that it's limiting me.
Yeah, that's really important as well, because the fear never goes away. It's just like your ability to not listen to it and know which part of you is speaking is where the power lies.
Yes. What am I subscribing to? Which voice am I subscribing to today? So
not even in the day, just like literally in each moment.
Yes. So of course, like there was this moment where as I was studying at the same time that I was working, and I was really tired of my work, and things were actually not flowing in my work, and they were also not flowing with my partner. And it was not about them, it was more about me feeling awkward and uncomfortable with my current life, and as you say, like that catalyzer that is just like pushing, and then being able to listen to the messages of life saying, Gloria, that's not the way, come this way, come this way, come this way. So that energy is the drive that makes us make this podcast. Exacto. It's the same drive that I had to quit my job, to break up with my boyfriend, and to go to Tulum for like 2 months. That's what I said. I'm going to the beach. Yes, right? And so I took my car, my dog, and my friend with her dog, and we went driving to Tulum for 2 months. And it was in Tulum where I actually like had this awakening and realized, like, oh fuck, life is about way more than what I thought. Whoa, oh, my life is just like starting again. Oh, but now super expanded. Oh wow, and then yeah, from then it's a and never ending story of going into our reality and then boom, waking up and expanding my perspective, and then boom, waking up and expanding my perspective.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. So the first place you went to after Zoom was India to do yoga.
Yes, yes. So first I went to Tulum, um, and in Tulum is this place where the shamans and the healers and the sound healings and the yoga and the blah 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 was like the, yeah, at that time 2014 it was the place where healing happened. So I met a lot
Wow.
of people and I realized, like, okay, this is huge. So yoga is one of my first things that I came to. And this girl told me, like, you need to go to India to this place. I was like, okay. And that was my first thing. And then I did another teacher training in Tulum. And then this girl comes and she's like, you need to go to Guatemala to this place called Las Pirámides del Ca, that I told her that she needs to go. It's an amazing place. It's in Lake Atitlan, in a school of witches. Chati, the most incredible witch, like, she blew my mind, because now I'm not only studying yoga, which is a philosophy and almost a religion, like a whole
It's like a
thing,
whole way of life.
a whole way of life.
Yeah.
But then I come to this school where they're teaching me about my astral body and how I can leave my body to travel other places, other dimensions, and I can become something else. And then through my dreams, I can actually experience all that is the creation of life, which I actually don't understand what is it, because it's just so expansive. So then I go into this school. I don't know nothing about life, right? And it's in these pyramids, and this teacher, she's speaking about all her experiences leaving her body, and then teaching us how to, and us doing practices every night, praying to the elements, and waking up at 3 a.m., meditating, trying to get out of my body. And so, and everything around the space is like, am I dreaming? Is this a dream? Is this a dream? So of course I'm losing my shit in 1 month with the amount of information that I receive from, no, you're not only a human, but I'm actually infinite, and there's so many realities and so many dimensions that we don't even know.
There's
Wow.
more going on than we could ever. We're not even meant to know, and like you just have to accept that.
Yes.
But how was that? Like the way you described it sounded very ungrounded, but it was what you needed. Like it was expansive.
I love that you say it was very ungrounded. It was,
No, I'm saying the way you were
describing
it.
it. Yeah. It's absolutely ungrounding.
Yeah.
So not only that, but speaking of breathwork, also during the whole month that I was in Guatemala, I was also doing these 7 days really intense breathwork sessions. Every day we were adding one more round to the way that we were breathing. By the 5th day, I was completely high all day, like a little bit like, I could say, floating. I could say, like, really not feeling myself in my body fully, but in a very incredible way. And I know that I had to experience that to be able to understand also how to come back to my body and how to be grounded in my humanness. And I feel like a lot of the awakenings we think, or I used to think, and that was my process, is that it's outside.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other night.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember?
right? Like into the cosmos and into the ethereal world. And actually, and also, yes, but also it's about living in my body. And the more I can inhabit this body, the, how can I say, the more stable my human experience is. And I can actually go into the ethereal world, but really being present in my body will create a way more different experience than just flying out.
Yes.
Right? Because in the end, I'm still a human, and I still poo, and I still eat, and I still visit my friends, and go into this 3D world. And I need to take care of my body, because actually, if I'm out of my body, then um, well, the experience is over. Game over. So if I still have a body, but I'm a little bit outside and into the ether, I'm actually not being fully attentive to my body.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because I think it's really important for people to know that this balance is really important. And sometimes we don't know what balance is until we go out of balance. So, like, I think it's normal as a part of someone's journey to not be on earth sometimes if you go that direction, but then also learning how to bring the light of the divine into our physical incarnations, because that's why we're here. Like, if we were just not meant to do that, then we would all be spirits, and why would we even have a body in the first place?
Yes.
So I think, as far as I'm concerned, that is the purpose of this life. Yeah, so if you are interested in delving into any of this stuff, just like have awareness of how important that is, and there's so much value to be experienced in the 3D world, and so much beauty.
Yeah, and the same wisdom.
Yeah.
Like all the dimensions that we can visit leaving our bodies, we can also visit them inside of us.
And that's what the elements show us. That's what the natural world can mirror, everything that you will go learn outside of the natural world too.
Yeah.
Everything's just mirrors to learn the same things and realize all the wisdom's within. And that's the name of my podcast. And I literally in every episode this happens. I'm like, oh, there you go. Didn't plan that one.
Ay, qué hermosa eres.
But
Yeah.
speaking of like interacting with the spirit world, I want to talk more about the pendulum, because I feel like people would love to hear about what you do with your pendulum.
Amazing. Well, basically the pendulum, the tarot, astrology, numerology, like all of these are techniques that we use to understand or to decode the the supreme intelligence that runs us all, that we can actually hear it in messages, like people that are channels that can maybe listen to a being, but also can just like tune into the collective wisdom, right? So basically we do this with the pendulum too. And so the pendulum is moved with the the, the energy, and depending on, like I use these charts to manage the pendulum, right? But I have many charts, I have percentages, and I can measure like the biofrequency of the bodies, or where is that we are in our evolution, or maybe communicate with the spirit guide through this through letters. It's incredible. It's just like it's so vast. For me, the practice has been to trust in that energy, and to be able to not be afraid of the information.
Yes, that was something I was going to bring up. I think with all these witchcraft, or whatever you call them, all these practice modalities and tools, there's fear around them.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask about what the role of fear is in it, and yeah, your journey of how you choose trust over it.
Yeah. So first of all, I think it has to do a lot with the teachers, my teachers, that I trust so deeply in. And I know that they are really cool, grounded humans, and I can see it reflected in their lives. So if they are doing some kind of practice like that, it must be something, right? But also, I've been practicing since I moved to Tulum. I've been observing all these people that are witches and they work with energy, or shamans and they work with the elements, or whatever shape or form. So I've been either also plant medicine, right? So in my life I've been able um, to dive in different ways in this cosmic collective energy. So I also started feeling it, right? So, you know, like once we become more sensitive to that energy, then we feel it more also in our daily lives, and also in, yeah, well, in every part, in every way, when we're like with people or when we are alone, and we can feel other things. So I've been working on my fears for many years, with a lot of things that have happened, from a bird talking to feeling a spirit inside my room and shit my pants and have to light a candle and pray for the spirit to leave, and then being like, okay, well, this is what I want my life to be, so I better listen to the plant, you know and then being like, oh, I'm crazy because I'm listening to a plant or because I'm hearing a spirit. And then training myself to be like, well, no, actually, what's pretty limited, it's thinking that this is it, and that the only way of communication is through humans, and that the rest is not alive and not communicating in another way, right?
That's the thing. I feel like we all just think we like have this program that like we're crazy if we're hearing anything else or believing in anything else. But really, like, I've got the message so many times, like, it's real. Like, all you have to do is like actually believe and open yourself to it. And also know that in opening yourself to it, you have the power to call in what's for the highest good.
Yes.
And that's the most powerful lesson I learned, is that like you have that intention and you have that power over all of it. You can send anything to the light.
And so with that comes this idea of the fear is the idea that we don't know what's going to happen or who we're going to communicate with, right? So my teacher says that the most important thing that we need to understand is that our heart beats anything. Anything. Our heart is the most powerful tool that we have. And so when we're really connected with our heart, nothing bad can happen to us. When we're really connected to our heart, we know that we're safe and protected. So it's from that space that we pray. Every time we want to communicate with something, with somebody, we pray from that space, so that it's in our highest good, so that we can serve humanity, so that we can serve life and creation itself. And so that if there's certain beings that don't serve the light, that want to come and hurt us or whatever, it's like, no, we are protected because our heart is way better, and as you say, can send anything back to light. So even if we're encountering something that it feels not really nice or whatever, we can send it through light to light.
Yes, exactly.
Or we can also pay attention not to engage with it. Yeah. So I always say, the ethereal world is also like the physical world. There's people that you want to hang out with, and there's people that you don't want to hang out with. There's neighborhoods that you want to go to, and neighborhoods that you don't want to go to. Same thing in the ethereal world.
Yeah, because really there's no separation between any of that anyway.
So it comes, but I want to engage, send it back to light, or I just don't want to engage. We choose.
Yeah. And that's why the work I'm doing is about connecting people back to their hearts. Because whether you're using it for ethereal purposes or just on earth, like that journey that you take there is the most powerful one. And so what would you say to someone who's looking to connect back to their heart? I mean, I know it's a big question for what's coming through for you.
Well, the first thing that came through me was the breath.
Because air is the element of the heart.
Yeah, but also the component of gratitude. Gratitude is an incredible medicine. So when we become grateful for everything that happens, we bring it into sacredness. We realize that everything is a medicine. No matter what I'm going through, So no matter what I'm going through, I come to my breath, I come to my body. That already creates a different frequency inside and a different energy and a different way of responding to life, right? That's the first thing. But then I come to really feeling appreciation and gratitude. So it's like, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for like the little details. Thank you for this friendship. Thank you for the food that I have every day in my belly. Thank you for the roof. Thank you for my dog.
There's actually infinite things to be
Infinite.
grateful
Infinite, no matter where we are. And so that's the thing. We can focus on being, we can focus on the dark cloud and feel like shit. And that will actually disconnect us more from our spirit. Or we can come into gratitude of whatever it is, the pain, the sorrow, the grief, the joy, all of it. And so then it's like our life becomes meaningful and our spirit vibrates, right? We become alive. I mean, because alive we are, but if we're not realizing that we're alive, we're actually dead, no? And that's when like the rah, 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 and the complaining and the rah, rah, rah. Yeah, okay, life can be super shitty, but if I can see the good in the shitty, then again, meaningful, it becomes a gem. And then I have so many gems, my heart is full, then I can share and it just keeps on flowing. Cultivating joy is something that we need to do, that I invite everybody to do. Cultivating joy, what does that mean? Having fun, doing cool things, laughing more,
living the lifestyle,
baby. So yeah, of course, we're very fortunate because we live in a holiday, in a constant holiday. I mean, it requires our effort, of course, but we live in a constant holiday, and that's amazing. But also, you and I have a very light spirit, and we want to have fun.
Because you can make anything fun.
See, and everywhere.
You can find laughter in literally everything because life is a cosmic joke.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a great place to end.
Yeah.
Find joy in everything and anything. And so, yeah, as I mentioned before, you can book sessions for Breathwork online. You can come here and learn with Gloria and go to the Temazcal as well.
Yes. I mean, if you're in Bali, you need to come to the Temazcal. But also, if you're in Bali, I feel like you need to experience at least one breathwork session, or even better, like not even better, but like also incredible, the 2-day workshop with Alex, where we do breathwork, ice bath, and authentic relating. And it's a 2-day of community, incredible. And then also, I'm running group sessions soon. Here in my house, just women, because I really would love to work with only women. And then also, if you're a man, you also need to join the Temazcales for men that we're gonna start doing very soon. Now that everything is happening.
Yeah, she's amazing. So the Temazcal was the first thing I went to that she facilitated, and I was like, damn, she's cool. You know, because like when you meet someone in like different contexts, it's just so interesting to like see different facets of someone. And I was like,
oh my god. And I love you. Like, you, every time you're telling me a story, and I'm like, but that's the thing, right? Like, she's so fun. Her stories are so interesting. So of course, the more fun we have in life, the more interesting our life becomes.
So true. Oh, there's one quote that came to me yesterday, which I wanted to say. Life is a game where love is the glitch that will always win.
What does it represent to you?
Well, I think like we're all playing in this game of life, but I think when you really come to love in your heart, like you're not in a losing game anymore. You're always gonna win, because that's how powerful it is. It's the most powerful force in all of reality, and my human design incarnation is vessel of love, and like the more I like really connect, like literally just being a vessel of love, like the more I just feel so happy. Because like everything's just an opportunity to realize that you are love. And it's just like,
Oh, you're beautiful. But yes, everything becomes a blessing. And I love that you're saying this, because that was the other thing that I wanted to say, the compassionate, the part of us, there's a big part inside of us that it's loving in its essence.
at the end of the day, we're all here just to learn how to open ourselves to giving and receiving love, because we come into this world as love, and then we have all these things happen, and then we're like, I can't trust, I can't love, like I don't know how to do it feels weird, and we're trying to like relate to everything around us, and then it gets so confusing, but really like it's also so simple at the same time, because you're just becoming what you already are. And then the other one I wrote down, inspired by you, was how can you make life a ceremony where the totality of everything is celebrated? So really just seeing like life as medicine, life as a ceremony where you can just dance and play and celebrate everything that you might have previously seen as bad.
Yes. I mean, we're choosing every time with everything. We're choosing if we take it seriously or if we take it as a game. If we decide to become in awe of the experience, or we're suffering it, like we're choosing all the time. So choosing joy, compassion, gratitude, and mostly seeing everything as just an experience, right? And as an opportunity to grow and expand. Then everybody becomes a teacher. Every situation becomes incredible, because even in the shitty situations, we learn so much. It becomes so amazing. Sometimes I'm hurt, like my body's hurting. Imagine a heartbreak, right? That it's the heartbreak is not physical, but the pain is so heavy that it becomes physical. And sometimes it's like, wow, I am in so much pain right now.
Just
and
really-
actually feeling content with the amount of pain that I'm going through.
It's like dramatic, you know? It's like making life like a musical or a play or like a song where you're like playing this character that you are.
Because in the end, we're characters.
It's like a movie. It really is a movie or a book. Like you get to choose. You get to write your own story. You can rewrite it. You can do whatever you want.
So RuPaul says, we're born naked, the rest is drag, right? Which makes me think like everything is a costume.
Yeah.
We're all wearing a costume, no matter what we're dressing, what we're wearing, right? So it's the same thing with our personality, with the way we're choosing life. Everything is just our choice.
Yes.
And we're just playing a character.
Babes, thank you so much for this. It was so fun. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
And thank you all for watching and being here. And yeah, so much love. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.